Well, good afternoon, Lydia. How's it
Hi,
going?
Sarah. I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. We were just talking, we've got so much stuff to talk about once again.
We do. We do. This is going to be a busy one.
Exactly, lots to cover. So
Yes.
we'll just start off with the forbearance numbers. You know what? The forbearance numbers are good. We actually dropped from 5.14% to 5.05% in of all loans that are in a forbearance plan, which actually takes us down by almost 100,000 borrowers to 2.5 million now are in a plan. One thing to consider. And that is the lowest level since last March, so that's exciting.
That's good. Yeah.
One of the things to note is 11% of those still in forbearance have now exceeded the 12-month mark, which means a lot of these extensions, could be going up to even 18 months in forbearance because, government-backed loans have made those extensions.
Right.
And, remember, there's always specific timelines based on the specific servicer type, loan type and servicer. So always check that. But there have been so many of these extensions that now we're looking at 18 months of, possible forbearance plan, borrowers in there. Looking at forbearance by the stage. So in the initial stage, we actually dropped from 14.1% last week to 13.9% this week. So that's a good thing. Our extension, forbearance plans and extension did increase though. It's now 83.5% up from 83.3%. They're small numbers, but we're still watching the movements. Now, re-entries is still kind of the last 3 weeks has been at 2.6%. So that's holding solid. We really would love to, of course, see that number go down. One thing too is of the forbearance exits from June 1st through March 14th, 42% either continued making their payments or got caught up by the time they exited their forbearance plan. So that's a great thing for them.
That's a great thing.
The group that we really want to pay attention to is the 14.2% of exits are exiting behind on payments with no loss mitigation plan in place. Right. These are going to be the borrowers that need help. These are going to be the borrowers that need guidance on what their options are. And we don't know kind of what it will look like when kind of forbearance is gone, but keep these conversations going because it is so important that people know that they have options.
And that could be some of those people it could just be an education thing that they just don't know what their options are, or they may not know that they're in trouble. So,
I think so, for sure.
Yeah.
Because there's so much misunderstanding behind it. Yes. And that's really a challenge for the borrowers. Yeah. We do have some good news in that, a recent study from Freddie Mac did show that borrowers and buyers are more confident in making their payments. It has actually, last April, it was only 48%, peaked at 69% last October, and all of 2020 really averaged around 60% that confidence rating. But in February 2021, confidence did rise to 66%. So we like seeing confidence going up because that helps, everything.
Helps in every business.
Seriously, totally, exactly. And, so we know confidence is going up, and then you're going to read headlines. NAR's existing home sales decreased 6.6% in February. Yes, we know that sales went down, and it's because of the lack of inventory. The significance of this low inventory, that's why we have a 20% appreciation. It's why our market's pretty unhealthy right now. It's going a million miles an hour and it's quite exciting, but it is not really stable. Or, we really need to have a lower appreciation for our buyers because we need them to be able to come into the market. Some of the ways you can even look at it, in January 1st of 2019, we had 18,000 active listings. 2 years later, January 1st, 2021, we had 6,000. That's quite a drop. And then you look at today we have 4,000. So, that's not a lot of houses to support a market that really needs 25,000 active listings.
Right. Especially in Arizona when we have 300 people moving in a day.
Oh, it's just, huge numbers coming here. And exactly. The last thing I wanted to share is that a surprising number of landlords are actually declining the funds in the latest $1.9 trillion stimulus package. In there, there's actually a $50 billion package for emergency rental assistance. And a lot of the landlords are stating that they're concerned about the additional restrictions, like they're not able to get rid of, if they accept the payments, they're not able to get rid of some difficult tenants. They have tons of paperwork, documentation required. It takes quite a bit of time to even apply. And so a lot of them are opting not to. And I didn't see that coming. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Exactly. No, I didn't. I thought more landlords would take that opportunity, of course. But to be honest, I don't know if the renters or the tenants are actually, I don't think a lot of them are not making their house or the payment. I think a lot of them are. And I think there's been some misunderstanding of what I think in the beginning when COVID first hit. I think, yes, those people that got furloughed and laid off definitely took advantage. But I think a lot of them are now making their house payment again, or their rent payment again. And also they're up to date. So I think there's not as many people in that situation, at least here locally in Arizona.
Right. And so, it could be different with like apartment complexes versus single family home renters. And none of that data is available. At least, they'll have apartment complex data available and then some other association, but it's not really a big enough picture to draw some conclusions. So, Lydia, that's going to be very interesting to see kind of how
to watch. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that too. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is the servicing calls have been reduced. So I'm not seeing as many. I do know that the servicers are ramping up. So they are hiring more people and they are expecting more foreclosures as soon as the moratorium is up. However, I do think that some of that is the people that actually, so when COVID hit, there were people that were already in the system for being foreclosed.
Absolutely.
And when the moratorium hit or when the CARES Act hit, everything stopped, even those that were in that system. So say they here in Arizona, granted every state is different, but here in Arizona, it takes 3 months to foreclose on a property. So say maybe they were in their second month and then the moratorium hit and now everything has stopped. So the question is, and we will keep an eye on this too, is when the moratorium is lifted, I am assuming that they will still be in the same spot that they were, as far as they're not gonna, I don't believe that they are gonna restart their 90 days. I think they're gonna be right where they were at. So, and I don't think people have thought about that. So, because
I hadn't.
We keep getting this moratorium extended to help people. But if you were already in trouble, you need to have a game plan in place. And that's where I think people don't realize that they could be in trouble if they only have 3 weeks or a month to like figure out where they're going to move to type situation. So just something to be aware of. And you and I will keep, and you and I will keep that. We'll keep checking on that. And of course, when the moratoriums change, which we're pretty much, you're on top of that, Sarah. So we'll know more about that when we get closer to that end of June timeframe. But I do, but I do think that the consumer confidence is up. There are, I don't have specific numbers, but I will say that every corner has a hiring sign on it. And I see more people out on the road now. A lot of people have gone back to work or starting to go back to work. You and I were just talking about the kids are going back to schools. So I think we are, not that we're back to normal, but we are getting there. And I think part of it is the fact that we're able to get out of that. People are working. People are getting their shots from COVID, and so they feel more comfortable being out in public. So there's a lot of, the numbers for COVID are going down. Not that it's going to ever disappear because it is a virus, but I think just in general, people feel more confident and they feel more, they feel like they can go out and even my sister-in-law's mother, who lives in an assisted living in Ohio, she's been locked down for an entire year. They're allowing them to go out for the very first time. So I think it's happening across the country, and I think that it will definitely help both in the real estate industry and in other industries as well.
And overall economic growth, absolutely. And I'm reading a lot of these economists, both local and national, are really expecting a very strong growth year for the entire economy because of everything you just said.
Yep.
You know, so
Yep.
it's now we just got to watch the data and see what it tells us.
And that's what you're good at, is checking on data. So we will definitely keep people posted on forbearances, foreclosures, you know, job market,
Yep.
landlord information. We definitely will keep you up to date as soon as we know the information.
Exactly. Well, sounds
So
great, Lydia.
Thanks, Sarah. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next week.
Sounds great. Have a good week.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.